can you please look into the adoption curve for Stable Diffusion Stability AI project and compare that to the adoption of Bitcoin and the fastest moving alts? This is an interesting one. So for people who don't know, Stable Diffusion is a text to image model that will empower billions to start create stunning art within seconds. I've been playing with the site I use actually for some things is labs.openai.com. It's the DALL-E software, and it is incredibly impressive. You can build the most amazing art in seconds. I'm concerned for the artists out there, so support your local artist when you can. But let's look at what it is. So first of all, SD, let's call it Stable Diffusion, is a text-to-image AI that's able to create images using text descriptions with artificial intelligence. For example, you could say, paint me a picture of Dali on the beach with the moon in the background. And it'll do that. And then you can add in any kind of context as well. And it uses a deep learning algorithm that's been trained on billions of text and image pairs to understand underlying patterns and to produce its own image when given a new text input. And the example here is of Stable Diffusion action where the algorithm is inferring the depth of an input image on the left, and it's generating new images using text and depth information. So the other easy way to think about it is, the secret sauce behind it is what they call the artificial neural network. This enables AI to have human-like creativity. The neural networks are designed to analyze and exchange data across different nodes, not unlike a blockchain, actually, coincidentally. And this is exactly like data transmission between neurons and the human brain. And this is where Stable Diffusion's creativity comes from and how it's able to generate original content such as text, images, and even audio or video. Again, the pace at which all this stuff is coming out is stunning, absolutely frightening as well. Now, the technology has been around for a while. It's quite new. It's built on the neural networks that have existed for a while too. And there are many others out there like GPT-3, DALL-E 2 is what I use. And the neural networks have been around since the 70s. But what they didn't have were billions of training data to run the algorithms against to be effective. Also, the computers lack the processing power to handle the work of neural networks. And third, the computer processing power at scale is extremely expensive, or at least it was up until now. And now we can do it. And with the proliferation of the internet and social media and computational power, now everything is possible. And this is also not unlike how FSD works within Tesla too. So again, the changes we are going to see over the coming 3 to 5 years will be mind-blowing, mark my words. So where were we in terms of adoption? So in comparison to Bitcoin's adoption curve, and it's very, very difficult to say exactly where Stable Diffusion is, but I'd say extremely early, less than 1-2% of the public are actually using it. It's so new, there is lack of publicly available data on the number of users in order to gauge its adoption. The best data we have been given right now is the number of Twitter followers. It's about 41,000. By the way, you can use the same type of approach to estimate how popular a certain token is too. And this is quite impressive, 41,000, given that the Twitter account has only been open for less than a year. But it's still very small in absolute terms. And like my Twitter has about 135,000 followers. Bitcoin has 5.7 million. Elon Musk, I don't know how many, 100 million or 50 million or whatever. But this puts Stable Diffusion squarely very, very early in the adoption curve. Now, there's one other thing as well that's coming up. And this might be a barrier to all of this AI stuff and creation. What happens if it is stepping on some legal toes? Here we are talking about legal stuff again. The biggest barrier might be the legal realm where lawsuits and regulation will be coming. Because Stable Diffusion becomes more widely used, it will reproduce art and images that may have a claim from artists or companies that say it's their intellectual property. And the AI doesn't understand copyright and intellectual property, and it'll certainly be challenged in the courts. And there are already lawsuits of artists filing suits against Stable Diffusion over its image renderings. And overall, the technology is quite promising, but watch for the legal stuff. Just imagine, I think there was some musical artists were buying NFTs for $50 million and $100 million. This thing can go out and replicate it, make it even better in a second, and it's yours for free. So that's the problem. It's going to really compress values for some art out there, and that will upset many artists. So we try to weave that tapestry of all sorts of things, bouncing around between Satoshi selling and AI and linking it all in between.